So to come back, basically this whole interview comes as sort of a preamble to what will happen at Corvin Castle starting this winter, and especially next year when following the restoration works that are in progress. The castle will be fitted out with facilities for people with disabilities. Facilities which, I must admit, were missing until now. In our case, given the specific of the location and monument status, historical monument, as a result to be more specific, the work is currently underway under setting up of a dedicated social group to people with disabilities and the development of access routes to it and to Corvin Castle. There is a number of facilities for visiting, the so-called House of the Guilds, facilities that have been in place since 2016. But those most visible changes will happen, as we pointed out from this winter when this social group will be completed. In Corvin Castle is currently holding an entire paving action of the entire courtyard as well as the removal of existing steps following the completion paving in the 50s steps that somehow made it difficult to visit the castle by people with disabilities. At the same time, this pavement from the inner courtyard of the castle will be directly connected to the ground floor of the castle by a series of permanent ramps so that visitors who reach the castle with mobility problems will be able to enter at least the first level of the castle. It will be possible to visit the White Tower, the Old Gate Tower. It will be possible to visit the entire Bethlehem Wing. It will be possible to access the Knights Hall via ramps and through this pavement. Over the city, all these changes are welcomed. It aims, as we previously mentioned, people with locomotor disabilities, but we do not stop strictly at these, because by the restoration project, we need to implement a series of explanations in Braille alphabet for people with visual disabilities, all of which we believe will somehow improve the visit for people at the Corvin Castle. Or at the same time, the castle will be open to people with disabilities through exactly those facilities which will allow access to the interior as to visit the castle by the blind. Indeed, given again the specificity of the construction, an activity that is not necessarily easy, but which we hope by supplementing the visual information with Braille to make this more enjoyable so as to it is considered worthwhile the effort put into visiting Corvin Castle. At the moment, we are ready for the blind with audio guide and mobile phone audio apps. The guide can be purchased for a fee at the ticket office of the castle and is already operating from about 2 years. But the audio guide is available free to all visitors, and these measures coming somehow in visitors with problems, so that the experience in Corvin Castle in the Castle Museum, which I pray by definition is a visual one, to be compensated by. This audio guide is an audio guide made with actors, so that the voice is a warmer one, not to be a voice of artificial intelligence, but to be one familiar to the visitor, gaining experience in Corvin Castle even if deprived of this visual aspect. However, to be one as possible to be pleasant given the fact that, as we mentioned the way it wastes audio guide, all this cumulatively, we hope to improve the experience of people with disabilities at Corvin Castle and to encourage them to arrive in numbers from more and more.